doing a video today on why I started photography and my journey to it, and how I got to where I am today, where I come and do this pretty much every Sunday or every free moment that I get. And I thought, where better to come but the first place that I ever come to, which is here, Millbrook East on the Ashdown Forest. Yeah, the first place that I ever come to when I bought my first camera, which was, if I remember, a Canon 650D and the kit lens that come with it. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. Unfortunately, I sold that camera, which I'm gutted about. I'm not too sure. Well, I traded it in because I wanted to go full frame. That was an APS-C and I traded it in, and I regret that now. I wish I'd kept that. It's obviously something that would have a bit of sentimental value, but anyway, neither here nor there. That's now gone. But yeah, it's funny. I've been walking around here this morning. Well, actually, I was up here early and I had some nice conditions, and then I got here and I set everything up. I wanted to do this under some lovely morning light, and then I realised I'd left my SD cards at home, so that doesn't help. But yeah, so I've come back anyway in an attempt to do this video. So yeah, that was when I remember coming here actually, so that's what I was saying. As I was walking in this morning, and I had the spots on my phone that I first come to with that camera, and you know, your sort of memory comes back. You start remembering your mindset then, or my mindset then, and yeah, just how I did not have a clue what I was doing with a camera. I'd read up on it quite a bit, like the camera settings and what they do, aperture, ISO, shutter speed, that sort of thing, but I didn't know. I didn't have a clue. And I remember coming here, it was this very spot. I don't know if you can see it. I'll get out of the way. That tree there, I'll put that picture up on the screen now. That was the first ever picture I took with my camera. And as you can tell with that, I did not have a clue what I was doing at all, whatsoever. How to frame things. I remember thinking that I wanted to get the pathway that leads up through the forest there, and that tree, and it framing that path or whatever, and I don't think it really worked, but anyway, that was just it. It was quite funny looking back through those photos and walking through here and remembering it all. It was yeah, I mean, I don't know if I've improved much now. I think I have a little bit. I've got some nice pictures along this particular spot actually since then, which are on that Ashdown Forest video. I've done that really long sort of relaxing one. Yeah, and it's just a trip down memory lane that was quite funny. But anyway, so the reasons that I got into photography is probably not conventional. It's not the usual way. I should think a lot of people had that passion when they was younger, growing up, and just always loved. I mean, I've always enjoyed photography, looking at people's pictures, but I never really had the inclination to go and do it. But it was, but I decided to give it a try, which was 2 years ago now. It was actually, I look back through my Instagram, it was January the 1st, 2023. It was that winter, that Christmas break, when I bought my first camera. And it was that day when I come up here on an afternoon and walked around aimlessly for about 2 or 3 hours, not having any clue what I was doing. It was, it was good. It was, from then I thought, well, I actually need to look into this and watch some videos and figure out what it is that people take pictures of, and yeah, because I had no idea about conditions, sunlight, how that affects photos, mist, what you would picture. I mean, back then I didn't even know what I wanted to picture. As time's gone on, I've sort of evolved into loving doing landscapes, but yeah, I didn't have a clue then. But yeah, sorry, back to the reasons why I got into it. It was, 2022, the winter of that year, 2022, I'd actually gone on a bit of a, what do you call it, like a year of, not discovery, but just trying to figure out life a bit, because and honouring some promises I'd made to myself 2 years prior, which I'll get to, which was when I was in the hospital, and not knowing what my future was or what I faced. And back then, I think if you've read my profiles, you'll see that I'm a cancer survivor, twice in fact, and it's left an indelible mark on me since, as you can imagine, as I'm sure it does anyone who has to go through that or experiences it with a loved one going through it. It left me in a strange place afterwards. It was actually 2020, was the year. That was my second bout of cancer. First time round was 2018. That was testicular cancer. That was very strange, an odd thing to have happen. But thankfully then it all seemed to go very quick. I got treated quite promptly and yada yada. Yeah, it took a little while to sort of come to terms with, but that is, what happened. And it was 2020 is a year that really affected me badly because of that. I mean, I'm sure people don't need reminding about 2020 and the year that was and how mental that whole time span was. But right at the very start of all of that, the COVID stuff, I actually found out my cancer had come back, and that was just after the Easter bank holiday weekend. I remember it. I think it would have been a Tuesday because that weekend's 4 days, isn't it? You have Friday and Monday off. Well, Tuesday, I was in because I was on a surveillance program. I'm going to try and keep this brief and cut this down actually, so I don't waffle on too long. But I was on a surveillance program. I'd go into the hospital every 3 months. I'd have scans and blood tests and all that sort of stuff. 2020 rolls around. The end of March, early April, I'm due for my other scan. There was a lot of complications about getting in for that because of everything that was going on. Anyway, I went in for that scan on the Thursday, I think, before that weekend. Maybe a couple of days before that. Tuesday, I'm back at work because I was still going to work then. All throughout I did. But anyway, I was back at work. The phone goes, and it's my oncologist on the phone. And obviously, I'll never forget the words that were said to me that, I'm sorry, Jamie, but your cancer has returned. It's come back. And that was a real, mental, crazy time. Absolutely crazy time. But there's more to it that happened in that year that has led me to a point where I wasn't feeling great after that, which is obviously understandable, but there was more on top. So all in one foul swoop, I was informed that my cancer has come back. Not only that, they had missed it on the scans 6 months prior to that. So it had already been in my body for 6 months. Not only that, it had come back in such a rare way that at the time, and I don't know if that's changed since, at the time I was only the 4th person in the world that they'd have any knowledge of this having happened to. It returned. Cancers, as I'm sure some of you will know, if they return, they tend to return in a similar pattern, whereas mine didn't. So for testicular cancer, which I'm struggling to say, it usually comes back in your abdomen or in your lungs, I believe. But on me, it come back in my pelvis, in my pelvic area. So that was an extra complication. It was such an interesting case for them that what's it called? Macmillan, not Macmillan. Oh God, the cancer hospital. Why has that gone out of my brain? The one in the Royal Marsden. That was it. The Royal Marsden in Chelsea took my case. Anyway, not just that. On top of that, obviously because of everything that was going on with COVID and hospitals and things being closed and shut down, they didn't know when they were going to be able to treat me. And so all that he could say to me was apologise and say, I'm so sorry, but we are trying to find a way in which we can get you in because we do not want this left in you. You know, we want to be able to deal with this, but we don't know when we're going to be able to do that. So please just stay by the phone. And then there was more on top of that they'd found some growth tumours in my lungs, lumps in my lungs, and they weren't too sure what it was. All they knew that it had come up hot on my CT scan. So I had CT scans with dye put into me contrast, which then shows up cancer. They'd come up hot, and they were fearful that it was either the spread of the cancer that I already had, or it was a secondary cancer altogether. But they didn't know, and they needed to do a biopsy to be able to confirm whether it was what it was, and if it was something that needed treating or not. Again, unfortunately, everything was shut. They couldn't get me in for that biopsy anytime soon, they said, because all respiratory departments across the country were shut down to anything but COVID. So, yeah, that was all in one foul swoop, I was told this. And to cut that short, thankfully I'm here today. I got treated eventually, and I'm in remission. I've been cured of it in a sense. I'm in remission. I stay in that now for another 6 years at least. I have to go in, but yeah, it took 3 months for me to finally get treated for the cancer that I knew that I had. And it wasn't until the December of 2020 when I finally got in for the biopsy on my lungs, which thankfully confirmed that the growths were benign and they were just something they were going to monitor alongside everything else that they monitor on me. So, but I walked around for a long time, even once I was being treated for the cancer that we knew that I had, and everything that went with that, the surgery, chemo. Even once all that was done and they successfully got me into remission for that cancer, I still walked around for months afterwards, not knowing if I had it in my lungs. And I have to say, it was, as I'm sure you can imagine, a very... am I going out of focus here? I am. Sorry, I'm going out of focus. Let me stand there. Yeah, it was a very, very difficult time. Very, just horrific, I think would be the way to put it. If you've ever had a cancer scare and you know what that feeling's like for perhaps the week that you have to wait to hopefully find out that you don't have it. If you couple that with months and months and months of waiting when you already have cancer, it plays with your brain quite a bit. So yeah, anyway, that's that. And thankfully I've been cured, or I'm in remission, and everything's going well. Every scan ever since, every test ever since has come back good, and I'm fighting fit and I'm healthy. But that leads me, I want to get back to why I took up this, doing photography and exploring the outdoors and all that sort of stuff. Sorry if let me stand that way a bit if that wind's bad so you can hear me. Yeah, so for a while there after that, and I didn't know this till that finally got diagnosed weirdly only last year, was that I was suffering there afterwards with PTSD, and I didn't know it at the time. I fell into old bad habits after it, where I was going out drinking a lot and I guess running away from the pain of it all, I suppose, if you will. I'd done a lot of I was working still, but I was burying my head in work and alcohol and not doing well, and just, wasn't fulfilling the promises that I'd made to myself when I was in the hospital. And that being that, one of them was that I would find a way, if I got through this, I said to myself, if I got through this, I would find a way to appreciate and enjoy life more. Because previous to that, I'd struggled with anxiety for a long time and depression and things like that. And I'd lost myself in alcohol quite a bit before that. And what I would consider was wasting my life. And that was a promise I made to myself when I was in the hospital, that if I got through this, that I would find ways to enjoy and appreciate life more. And it wasn't finally until sort of summertime 2022 where I sort of slapped myself in the face a bit and said, come on with that, what are you doing to yourself? You've been given your health and you're destroying it, essentially. So let's switch this up and start doing some good things. So that year I went on a year discovery, and or not discovery, but a journey of, well, it is discovery actually, of figuring out things that I enjoy and what it is that I want to do, with my spare time. That was the focus, was like, enjoy your spare time. And I found a couple of things that year. Me and the lads got back into mountain biking, which I hadn't done since I was a teenager, which I love. We still do that every weekend. Paddle boarding, I bought a paddle board and I got right into that, and I absolutely love that, but I only do that when the weather's good. I've tried doing it in bad weather and do not like it. So yeah, hence why winter come in 2022, and I thought to myself, I need to do something. I need to find something to do in the winter. I know I like going out walking, but I need a purpose when I do things, and I need to find something that I enjoy to do. I'm really sorry if the wind's bad and you can't hear me, but I just want to stand this way. Yeah, I need something to do when the weather was not great and I couldn't get out and do the things that I already knew that I enjoyed to do. And that's when I thought, why not give this a try? I'd always followed people on Instagram, and I've always loved photography. I love art and people in creativity. So I thought, why not give this a try? It could be something good to do. And so that's what I did. I went and bought a camera. I'm pretty sure it was a 650D. If I'm getting that wrong, I'll put it on the screen, correct it on the screen. Yeah, and this was it. This was the first place I come, the Ashdown Forest. Yeah, it was from there on out, really. I think the first time I really realised I loved it was when I went up to a place called Blackdown, which is on I think it's the North Downs or the South Downs. And it's one of the highest peaks in the southeast. It's nothing compared to what they get up north, but it's high, big hills. And I got up there, it was for a sunset one evening, and I was up there taking some pictures, which I'll put up on the screen. And yeah, I fell in love with it from there on out. All of it. The taking the photos, the composing things, editing those photos there afterwards, creating something beautiful. And but also the exploring, the being out amongst nature and seeing sunrises and sunsets and different conditions, understanding the lands around me more, and what weather events or whatever you'd like to call them lead to particular conditions, and understanding just all of it. I love all of it. And also off the back of it, I've gone around and I get myself out more. I get myself out on mornings that I don't when I'm not feeling it, but then once I get out, I'm loving it. Like this morning, I was not feeling it. I was a bit nervous about trying to make this video, and but I forced myself out, and I've loved it. Just being here, walking about, taking some photos, bits and pieces like that. So, yeah, that's been a journey of recovery, I think would be the way I put it. Discovery and recovery. It's been a way for me to love life again, really, to be honest. It's been a way for me to be corny and deep, though I do believe this. I found beauty again in a world that was very dark for me. At points it's been very, I guess, unfair would be the word. It's been, not nice at times, but this has been a means of me taking control of my life again, I think. And I don't know. I'm trying to think of some sort of like deep and meaningful platitudes to give you, but I can't at the minute. But yeah, so that's really what it's been. So anyway, I'll end that there. I think that sort of gets that across, I hope. And what I'm going to do is try and find something else to picture, though the conditions have gone a bit poo now. But I'll try and find something. And if I do, because this is the intention now with these videos going forward, I want to do more of this vlogging and talking to you about where I am, what it is that I'm picturing and that sort of thing. So if I can find somewhere, I will go and do that, and I'll bring you guys up on the camera and I'll talk you through. But if not, I guess I just want to say the overriding message of this video today is not only about me and what got me into photography, but also about life and about difficult times and that sort of thing. And I would like it to be like resilience and perseverance, and largely just to keep going, even when times are like really bad, when things are really bad, and it feels like the world is against you and life is against you, and that nothing good's going to happen. That you can, as long as you're healthy enough to, you can take control of that, and you can find things that you love to do, passions and things like that, and stuff that will you can find purpose, that will get you through and get you to a better day. Because one thing I can promise you is, I'm sure you can appreciate. I'm getting cold. You can appreciate now is that I've been in some bad places, but things do get better, and you just need to persevere, keep going, and find things like this for yourself. It doesn't have to be photography; it can be any sorts of things. But find something that you're passionate about, something you love, that you enjoy, that you can immerse yourself in, and that'll help you deal, I guess, with the bad times, the awful things that happen. So, yeah, that'll be the message for today. And I will take a wander now and try and find something else to picture. But if I do not, I'll leave you with that, and I'll just put some pictures up on the screen that I've loved, which will be from here actually. They're on that Ashdown Forest video I done, and I'll put those up on screen, and yeah, hopefully from that you can see why I love it so much. It's the things that I get to see and appreciate and enjoy. So anyway, I'll catch you later on.